so much. Thank you so much for joining us this evening to learn more about the amazing SAS. We'll get started in about 1 minute. Thank you so much for joining us. It's amazing seeing such high levels of interest in Quest for next school year. This is definitely super exciting. All right, so it is 6:02, so we'll go ahead and get started. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. We are so excited to share with you about the Quest program and to really make space for you all to hear the perspectives of current Quest students, Quest alumni, and also the parent perspective as well. But before we get started, we want the advisors to introduce ourselves. So my name is Chris Munden, and I am the main math person within Quest, and this is my second year being an advisor in the program.
And I am Mare Stewart, and I am wear the social studies hat in the Quest program, and this is my second year as an advisor in the program.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm the new guy. I'm Tom Flanagan. This is my first year in the program as a Quest advisor, and I am the science specialist on the team.
Awesome, thanks, Mare and Tom. So before we jump into the main program, we just wanted to go over the what, the why, and the how of this evening. So really, this is an informational session for interested families who are considering the Quest program for either next school year or a little bit down the road. So we know that Quest offers incredible opportunities for students, and you're going to hear these stories tonight. So we're super excited to share these perspectives with you. So like I said, we'll hear about current Quest students and their parents and some alumni. We'll also give a broad overview of the main features of the program and really make a lot of space for small group discussions and question and answer. We want to start off with this video from educational leaders that discuss the purpose of learning. Because as an educator, when I watched this video, a lot of the aspects of Quest really resonate in this video. So we want to give you an opportunity to hear from these experts, and then we'll hear from a few of our panelists to hear their reactions.
I think the purpose of learning is so it's just aligned with the purpose of living.
I don't think learning has a purpose. I think learning happens.
So the purpose of learning, for me, I think at its very basis, it's about growing your level of self-awareness, so you know better who you are, so you know better how you do and then can impact the world.
But when you really learn, it is when you do it as an act of freedom.
You need to be a responsible citizen, and to be a responsible citizen, you need to have a firm grasp of, the issues that are surrounding you, whether it's, what's going on in your community, what's going on in the world. And, a lot of these things might have some basis in science or art or literature. And you can sort of learn about all of these different areas from very different inputs.
Good, powerful, meaningful learning occurs when the interest of the learner is matched with the capacity of a tutor. So the basic idea is you learn well what you're interested in learning.
The purpose of learning is a very big question. One way in which I think about it is that, and I think it comes from my background as a biologist. one of the fundamental features of all living things is that you change over time, right? And to stay still, in chemical terms or biochemical terms, to reach equilibrium is to die. So living things are always in a process of change. They're always in a dynamic state. And ultimately, I think learning is almost the engine that allows us to continue to be dynamic.
So, I want to separate the question of learning from the question of how we as a society, as a culture, as institutions define both the kind of learning that matters, the kind of learning that we should measure, the kind of learning that becomes a threshold for other things, and the kind of learning that gives you a reward within the context of the institution.
You need communication skills. You need reasoning skills. You need to develop your creative skills. And at Fenway High specifically, learning is about getting that academic foundation that's going to prepare you to move on to post-secondary learning. But it's also developing a world perspective.
So quite often when we think about learning, and if we think about learning in the digital environment, the temptation is to think that learning is a single sort of definition. But ultimately, from one field to another field, broadly speaking, the aspiration for learning can be quite different.
The best way, the most efficient way and the most powerful way to sort of decide what should be learned is to ask the learners.
All right. So at this time, what we'd like to ask is some of our panelists, which by the way, this evening we do have 4 of our current students. We have 5 alumni, 3 current parents, and a couple of our alumni parents who are joining us this evening to share their Quest stories of what Quest has meant for them or currently means for our students. What we would like to start with is we do want to start with a couple of our panelists and just for them to share their experience and how they see Quest reflected in this video. And so I'd like to start with Sarah. Sarah, if you want to share a little bit about what you see from this video.
Yeah. So hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Leonard. I'm currently a senior in the Quest program. So I think definitely where I see Quest most in this video is just at the end where it says the most powerful, effective way to decide what should be learned is to ask the learners. And I think in Quest, we as the students, in a way, kind of decide what we want to learn. And it's not like we walk into class and the teachers are like, okay, so what do you want to learn today? And they have absolutely nothing planned. But within the lessons they have planned and within everything that is taught, everything is done in a way that allows us to use our own worldviews, interests, perspectives to understand or complete the task at hand. So for example, there is no right or wrong answer. There is no picking A, B, C, D, or getting the exact number 4.89. Everything is open-ended, and this allows us to make everything our own learning. And when learning becomes our own, and when we look at learning through our own perspectives, it is a lot more meaningful and engaging.
Sarah, thank you so much for sharing that. So same question, we will go ahead and ask Alicia and Nigel. Alicia, if we could start with you. Alicia, by the way, she is a graduate of the class of 2021, but Alicia shares the junior perspective since she participated in her junior year. So Alicia, how would you say you see Quest from your experience in your time here a couple of years ago reflected in the video?
Well, for me, this is going to sound a little bit morbid, but I actually really hated school and going to school for freshman and sophomore year. And then I found out about Quest and how different it was compared to what I was used to learning and all that, how everything was open-ended, as Sarah said, and everything just was it was personalized. So it was up to the learner to learn what they want to. And because of that, I think I was able to finally love learning and love going to school, because just I think maybe 2 weeks of Quest completely changed my entire perspective on school and education in general. So much so that I'm actually taking a double major in college. So I'm going to be doing education as well. And yeah, and as a junior, it really helped going into senior year, because you can instantly see like your grades get better. You're more active in the classroom. You start to see connections between classes that you don't think are like exist, or you'll see connections between math and like urban studies or something like that. Like, yeah. So that's what I got.
Alicia, thank you so much. So same question to you, Nigel. Nigel Lee, by the way, he was in the inaugural year of Quest back in 2016, 2017 school year. And so a lot of what we see of the Quest program, it was that fledgling group that laid the foundation for what we have today. So Nigel, how do you see that reflected?
I think the words of the biologist were most stuck with me, and in the context of Quest, because if you don't learn, you don't grow, you die basically. And I think if you don't take Quest, for example, you just go with your normal, AP classes, AT classes, whatever, you'll learn things, but at a scale of 1. But I think in Quest, you're given more freedom, more opportunities, and you'll learn at a scale of maybe 2 or 3, 4 times that. And there are a lot of skills as well that you pick up along the way. So I think if you want to talk about adaptability and things like that, I think a typical school is in a very controlled environment, but I think Quest is a much more, if you take part in it and you're willing to take more responsibilities and more daring projects, I think you would be put in a more real environment, and you can grow a lot from there. And that was at least my experience, and I'm sure it's still the case in Quest today.
Nigel, thank you so much for that. Now, turning it over to the parent perspective, among our 5 parent panelists that we have with us, Sue Mayazumi, who is parent of a senior of this year's Quest. Sue, I'd like to ask your parent take on that. So how do you see this Quest being reflected in what you see your daughter going through right now?
Sure. For Quest, my daughter, Julia, who is a senior right now, from the freshman year in high school, she was always interested in biology, especially in marine biology. So, she was looking into those classes a lot, but, there's so much that the school can offer as a marine biology class. And then she discovered Quest. And that's where what I resonated with the video is where one of the persons said that the powerful learning occurs when the interest of the learner matches the capacity of the tutor. And Quest was exactly that. She had so much interest in marine biology and in biology itself. So it was just right there, the two matched. And then with the internship, the Quest teachers, they will help you guide what is the best match for you. So she's currently doing the internship with NUS. So overall, with the Quest program, her learning interest and her creativity and everything got just hyped up. And I think if you have a child from the parent's perspective, if you have a child that is interested in and really, learning something in depth, Quest is definitely the place to be.
Sue, thank you so much for sharing from the parent perspective. And we do want to get to introducing a little bit more of what Quest is all about. But if we can take maybe just another minute or two, if we have anyone on the panelists that would like to share a little bit of their Quest experience before we move on, as the video talks about the purpose of learning and how maybe you found your purpose through the Quest program and how that helped you learn and figure out what direction you've wanted to head in life.
Well, if I may say something, with our son is an alumnus, and much as he would have wanted to join the panel, he's in national service right now. So as for Joshua's and our experience, I think with regards to what the video showed, Quest is actually like, like learning is to get information, whether it's vicarious or methodical or institutional or just, like just, how do you call this? Either not, outside of institutions. But all this information is actually how to navigate your way at a given time and space, and that is which is appropriate to what your interests are. And for Joshua, he had an internship and with one of the music production companies here in Singapore, and it was in that situation where he was able to learn and thrive. But not only that, he was also able to contribute. And I think that is one of the things that makes Quest really special, because it's also, you're not just like a sponge getting things, but you're also giving. And I think that's one of the things that learning is very good. And with Quest, it is dynamic, but yet it is also controlled and measured. So I think there is some good organization skills that they are learning to. And now that he's national service, we can see that. And, he's taking leadership in where he is right now. So, and he's also continuing, to do his craft at the same time. So it's all juggling many things at the same time.
King, thank you so much. Ayush, I think you wanted to share something.
Definitely. So I'm currently pursuing like a Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management. And so this industry and going into this sort of like field of study, it's not typical. And so the learning that I would need, it also shouldn't be what the basics of what we learned in high school, where it's like I still took classes such as economics, AP stats, and all those on the side. But part of what my learnings in Quest was learning how to not only like interact with people and work with people. And I think that's so important, especially when you get to the real world and your adaptability to different situations, especially in my field where each customer is a different situation for you. And so I think from the learnings of this video, you kind of see how education has the fluidity and it needs to be able to adapt to each student's standard. And I think Quest is a perfect example of a course that could easily help students achieve this.
Ayush, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your story and how that actually led to some of the skills that you need in what you're currently pursuing in Switzerland. All right. With that, it is time for us to introduce a little bit more about the Quest program. So I'm going to turn this over to my colleagues to share with you what the Quest program is all about.
So it's kind of hard for me to wipe this smile off my face after hearing all of these stories. And that's really the reason why we wanted to start with these stories and with that video, because it really drives at the idea of why are we here? Why does SAS as an institution exist? And what's the matter with learning? And really this points towards SAS 2027, the strategic plan, which is all about joy and purpose in learning. And we also know SAS's mission and strategic focus, which is all about excellence, extraordinary care, and possibilities, which does go through every aspect of our school, but I think within the Quest program, this is where you can see all of these things happening every single moment of every single day for every single student. So we make these three big learning aspirations of excellence, extraordinary care, and opportunities happen through our 5 program pillars, which are community of learners, interdisciplinary approach, experiential learning, flexible schedule, and personalized learning. And Tom here in a moment is going to explain exactly what this looks like. But really, if we had to answer the question of what is Quest, the answer is that Quest prepares students for the real world. So now my amazing colleague Tom is going to tell you about what that looks like at a more granular level.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, so we want to introduce the current incarnation of Quest, which may be a little bit different than a couple of our alumni experienced during their days, but we're really excited about and think that this is a model that gives a flexible program even more flexibility. And so, as you can see from the slide here, we have kind of 2 structures to Quest, the 1-day Quest and the 2-day Quest. And I want to start out by describing a little bit about the experience for our students in the 1-day Quest program, which is open to 11th and 12th graders. This is the model of Quest in which out of our A and B day classes here in the high school, students will attend Quest, for example, on A day, and they will attend the equivalents of 4 Quest courses on their A day. But then the next day, the B day, they'll have the opportunity to take up to 3 other SAS courses through the high school. So this option really allows our students that flexibility of being committed to the Quest program, but also being able to take advantage of those other courses that they may be interested in, passionate about, and want to take that are outside of the Quest curriculum. All right. The 2-day Quest option, on the other hand, is only open for 12th graders to seniors. And this is the all-in option where these seniors will be 100% committed in taking all of their credits in the Quest program. And so every day is a Quest day for these students. And this will, as you'll see, we'll look at an ensuing slide here. They have a little bit more flexibility to have some more kind of control over what their learning might look like because of their extra time in Quest. But a couple of other elements here to highlight, which we'll be sharing a little insight into later, are a couple of the key experiences that our students will get in both the 1-day and 2-day Quest programs. Number one, the off-campus partnership, which is a huge piece of our program that so many of our students maybe highlight is potentially the most meaningful or one of the most meaningful aspects of their entire Quest experience, where our students get to have an internship-like experience at an organization outside of SAS. That is available to both 1-day and 2-day Quest students. In addition, we have what's called the Student Design Study, which is a year-long research study that is designed and executed by the student, where they get to pursue a question of interest or passion and under the guidance and advice from one of our teachers, advisors of the program. This student design study, which is conducted by all members, whether you're a 1-day or 2-day Quest member, also fulfills the Catalyst graduation requirement. And then finally, we want to highlight, hopefully, next year's Quest, we will be able to offer a launch trip, which traditionally, before the beginning of the school year, the entire student and advisor cohort engages in a trip, kind of a community building and learning exploration outside of Singapore, often to not only bond, but to kind of kick off the experiential learning together and building that community together, which is core components of the program. And I want to highlight that there may be additional costs for that part, for the launch trip, but one of the misconceptions we've heard about is that Quest requires like some additional tuition or something like that, but it does not. Quest is one of the high school programs that is one of the incredible opportunities about our high school. And so no additional costs or tuition for this program. All right, next slide, please. And a little briefly, we said that the one-day Quest cohort, if you're in the one-day Quest program, there are 4 core courses. And although we are an interdisciplinary learning program where the learning is often blurred between math and science, English, we heard Alicia talk about the fact that finding the connections and the relevance of learning across multiple disciplines, and that's what we're going for. But we also understand that our students have, post high school aspirations, and that universities, colleges want to also understand and understand the kind of learning and the experiences that our students participate in. And so our students will be receiving grades for 4 discrete courses. There's an English, math, science, and social studies course for our 1- and 2-day Quest students. And for our 2-day Quest students, with their additional time and commitment to the program, there's a Quest elective, as well as an online learning course through the Global Online Academy. All right, next slide, please. And then finally, who is Quest for? We truly believe that Quest offers something for everyone because of what we've already heard from former students, current students, and our parents, that Quest really gives that flexibility and opportunity to learn, take control of your learning and learn what you're interested in. So since we all have our own interests and passions, we believe that there's great opportunities for all learners. But we do want to highlight that because of the personalized nature of our program, being open to managing your time or learning how to manage your time wisely is going to be an important piece. And so having that either already that skill of kind of independence in your learning, or at least that willingness to learn to become more independent, I think is an important piece here. Additionally, our community is a huge pillar of our program, and having that small learning community not only kind of elevates the feeling connections that we develop between the cohorts, between the members of that community, but we also think it's really important for whoever that is considering applying understands not only the value of the community, but that since that's an important aspect, that we want you to know that going in, that building those connections is going to be one of the outcomes and kind of expectations that we really are supportive of one another. And then finally, those couple of differentiators, if you're trying to decide, is the 1-day Quest or 2-day Quest the right program for me? Well, first of all, the 1-day Quest is being open to 11th and 12th graders, but this grants that flexibility of taking classes outside of Quest, the other high school courses, whether it's electives or AT or AP courses that our students also want to pursue. That gives that flexibility. Where the 2-day Quest option, once again, only open for seniors, but it really is fully immersive and gives students that are looking for even an additional way to take further ownership of their learning, or potentially to expand upon their partnership experience, or pursue something, even a learning opportunity maybe is outside of our school. It gives that opportunity. All right, next slide, please.
All right, thanks so much, Tom. So what we want to do now is share with you what are some of the biggest highlights of the Quest program that really sets Quest kind of apart from the traditional high school experience that SAS is able to offer. And I think one of the first highlights of the Quest program is the fact that we are able to offer true work experience and networking opportunities for our students. So currently I'm writing my doctoral dissertation on the long-term effects of the Quest program. And in my interviews and conversations with alumni of Quest, almost every single one of them have pointed to the fact that Quest taught them how to network, and Quest has prepared them to start navigating that sort of professional field once they're in university. So through this aspect of the program, students are able to learn these really, really invaluable skills, not just with networking and how to interact with others, but also how to manage a professional portfolio. How do I create a professional profile on LinkedIn? How do I write a resume? How do I write a cover letter? And these are the sorts of things that really set Quest students apart and help them be that much more ready for the real world.
And an additional aspect that really sets Quest apart is our commitment to experiential learning. And this is really part of the DNA of Quest, which is that belief that learning isn't confined to the classroom, but authentic learning happens outside the classroom. So whether that's through the partnership experiences that Chris was just describing, whether it's the launch trip or other field trips throughout the year, this really having that opportunity to learn outside the classroom with each other, with experts, through experience is a core learning goal and expectation. And like I said, baked into the DNA of our program. Unfortunately, this year, under COVID restrictions here in Singapore, that has not been available yet to us, but we are still hopeful that this year and that next year will be, next semester and that next year we will have opportunities return.
And just as we know that the experiential learning from the partnership program, through field trips, through a lot of the ways in which we get students off campus and in authentic learning, we know another aspect of the Quest program that we hear time and time again from students going through the program as well as alumni is to talk about they share the bond that they build with the small learning community within Quest. And so from the very beginning, when we look at what that launch trip, or in this case, it was a launch weekend due to COVID restrictions, but that launch experience that we began the year with really is about orienting them to the program and orienting them to each other and learning how they can learn with that. And they do form really tight bonds. And it's not uncommon to hear our students talk about the Quest room, the space which we'll give you a brief tour towards the end of this evening. But that becomes their home away from home, and they start feeling like the members within the Quest program become extended members of their own family. And that rapport and that bond that we build, it's really important because that helps us establish the trust that we have with each other, because when they are facing the challenges, students need to know that they can come to us as the advisors as they're working through that and reflecting on the experience and building that trust and having a safe space, academically, emotionally, everything. It's vital to our community. And it's one of the amazing things about the Quest community. And as I mentioned, the launch trip. So again, unfortunately, this year and last year, it impacted what we have been able to do with our experiences needing to stay on island. But as you can see captured in the photos, the intention is to begin our school year together, intentionally building the Quest community of learners, engaging in a lot of the type of experiences that they will have in Quest, which is really pushing your boundaries, challenging yourself physically, emotionally, and really digging deep into who you are. And so that's really by design very intentional that we begin the year together. Very much so if we've got any parents who have had their children going through the middle school program with CWW, how they always begin the year with CWW up until COVID, where they are bringing their advisory group together. It's very intentional. And so we do have high hopes. We do believe that next year we will be able to have an off-island launch trip, as many of our alumni that are on the panel this evening have, they can speak to that experience that they had.
All right, so speaking of the panel, it is going to be time to go into some breakout groups here in a moment. And just so you know, in these breakout groups, this is your opportunity to ask all the questions you could possibly want of our panelists. Here's a reminder of who all of our panelists are. And these panelists will be interspersed throughout the rooms. And Mayor right now is just generating what these breakout groups will be. After the breakouts, we will come back as a large group to do some whole group Q&A in case there are any really salient questions that would be beneficial for everyone to hear the responses to. And then we'll share some next steps in the Quest application process because there is an application that's associated to join the Quest program for next year that we definitely want to share more with you about.
Okay. and I'm stalling for time right now because I am building our breakout rooms. So
okay, so in that case, why don't we have our student panelists introduce themselves first? Emily, do you want to briefly introduce yourself and just one short Quest fact about yourself?
Hi, my name is Emily Huang. I'm a senior this year and I am in the B cohort of Quest. A fact about Quest, I guess like the B cohort this year is like the loud cohort.
Thanks. Let's hear from Isabella.
Hi, I'm Isabella. I'm a senior. I'm doing my internship at Expat Living, the magazine, if you guys know what that is. A fun fact about Quest is we have a kitchen in our room that we share and that we get to bring food in and we get to eat in class.
Awesome. Let's hear again from Sarah if you just want to reintroduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I am a senior. I'm in A cohort, the better cohort. No, I'm kidding. A Quest fact is the room always has a super chill and nice vibe.
Awesome. And Zach?
Hi, I'm Zach. I'm a senior. My internship was at Teamy, and it was a lot of coding stuff. And Quest fun fact is that we get to, even though all the projects are like very individual, we all get to collaborate on and help each other out a lot of the time. And so, yeah.
Awesome. And Andy, Alicia from our alumni crew.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I graduated in 2021, but I took Quest in 2020 as a junior. I'm currently on a gap year in India. And a fun fact about Quest is, one time my classmates microwaved a grape and it exploded. So that was fun.
We have a microwave story from last year's Quest that we might have time to share later as well. Let's hear from Andy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andy. I graduated in 2021, and I did Quest in my junior year. I'm currently in Seoul, South Korea. I'm attending Korea University, Political Science and International Relations. One fact about Quest is that I think it's probably a little bit harder than university, not gonna lie. Maybe a slight bit, but it was super worth it.
Awesome. That'll be something really good to talk about later. Caden.
So hello, my name is Caden Kraft. I'm currently, I did Quest last year in 2021 as a senior, and so I think I guess one fun fact about Quest is that you get to make your own resume and business cards, and then you get like them printed out, and you actually get to get like a set of like 200 or so business cards that you've made.
And Caden's resume and business cards were truly exemplary last year, I have to say. Let's hear from Ayush.
Hi, I'm Ayush. I graduated in 2018, so I was a second year of the Quest program. I'm currently studying hospitality management in Switzerland. Fun fact about the Quest program, I learned how to fix, how to change a tire as well during one of the lessons, and it came in handy 2 days ago, so.
Learning that matters.
Exactly.
And Nigel.
Hi, I'm Nigel. I'm currently studying governance and international relations in Moscow, third year student in the Moscow State Institute of International Relations. Fact about Quest, well, it still exists, so that's pretty good.
Awesome. So let's now move towards some equally important members of our Quest community who are the parents of our students.
Yes.
So let's start with Jason.
Yeah, my name's Jason Windest. My daughter is in 11th grade this year, so she's part of the one-day Quest program. As parents, we're thrilled with her experience so far. I'm also a teacher at SAS. I teach in the middle school. I see some familiar names on our call here, so I'm looking forward to getting to a breakout room and answering any questions. But from our family's perspective, it's been a really good experience.
Awesome, thank you. And Polly?
allow me to unmute myself first. Hello, everyone. I'm Paulie Hawkinson. Our son Bjorn is a junior in the program this year. And I just want to say I really appreciate what Alicia said about grade 9 and 10 wasn't really going that great, but then Quest came and allowed her to focus in on what mattered to her. So yeah, we know not everyone school as a normal school isn't a good fit for everyone, but for my son, being able to focus in on his areas of interest has really been a blessing for him this year. And I look forward to answering any more questions in the breakout room.
Awesome, thank you. And let's hear from Sue.
Hey, hi, I'm Sue, and my daughter Julia is a senior. And for me, watching my daughter just flourish under the Quest program is it's really heaven. And as Alicia said, and all the other people said, it really, truly, I feel like the Quest program truly enables the child to study, to learn, not just study, but to learn about the different aspects, not only academics, but then the life skills, creativity, everything that will take them to the further, not just high school, but beyond high school. And this is one program that none of the other international schools here in Singapore actually offered. So I'm very grateful for it.
Awesome, thank you. And Jing and Raymond as well.
I think Raymond will take that up.
We must unmute ourselves. Okay, this is Raymond and my wife Gink. We are parents of Joshua. I must say that Joshua truly thrived in the Quest program, and we are very proud of him. We think that he really enjoyed the program, and there's a lot he has learned through the experience, and which is translated to all the things he's doing now, both in his national service and in his personal life.
Awesome, thank you so much. And we do have a last minute alumni addition from Zane as well.
So do I just say the fun fact? Is that what I'm supposed to do here?
Introduce yourself, your graduation year, and when you did Quest. Yep.
Hi, I'm Zane. I'm a senior. I took Quest last year, and I think that our year of Quest was probably the funniest, just in my opinion.
That's another good topic for the breakouts. So Mayor, are we ready to open up those rooms?
We are ready. Here we go.
Awesome.
I'm going to open them up now. And so we'll have approximately about 20 people. That includes also our panelists. So each of the rooms has should have at least 3 panelists. Some have 4. And so parents, that will give you a pretty good opportunity to ask questions from, we've got a parent representative, an alumni representative, and a current Quest student representative in each of the panels, each of the breakout rooms. Yep, so we are ready to go.
And we'll come back in about 10 minutes, is that right?
I think we can stay, let's see, where's our time? Yeah, about 10 minutes.
All righty, enjoy.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I think we have almost everyone back in the room. While we have you here, word has it, we also have another alumni joining us this evening. And so just very quickly, Diana Sherwood, class of 2017, I believe you are here. Do you want to say a quick hello?
Oh, hi, yes. Hello, I introduced myself to the breakout room, but for everyone else, my name is Diana. I am currently an English major in New York, hence why I look like I just woke up because it's 6 a.m. here in New York. My Quest experience is probably a lot different than the current experience and even those of last year because it was while it was the first year and we were kind of laying the groundwork. But even though it was like 5 years ago, I still have a lot of fond memories of the professor, not professor, I'm not in college, teachers and my classmates. And I went through a lot of challenges, but those challenges ultimately, I think, helped to shape who I am as a person today, not just as a student, but as me as an individual. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Diana, and thank you for joining us this evening. Okay, and we totally understand the time difference, and you have daylight saving time on top of that, I believe. Yeah, so you've just gone through that. All right, so at this time, we've got just a few more minutes that we can open this up to all of our panelists answering any questions that are coming in. We did have a few questions that came in through the RSVP. And so one of the questions, and this comes up frequently, and it may have come up in the breakout rooms, but in case it did not, I know that this weighs very heavy on parents' minds. And so while we have our alumni here, I do want to ask this question that came in, which was, do universities look favorably at the Quest program or in a more, or is, let's see, the question was about this being a non-traditional path that universities can't put a value on. So from our alumni, what has been your experience in terms of Quest, whether it was a differentiator for you and how universities may have looked at your experience here?
For me, I came to Russia to study, so they didn't know anything about SAS or about Quest, and they didn't even look at my AP scores. So all I can say is that in terms of the application process and everything, I think the fact that I had something to show because of the fact that they don't look at my AP scores and everything, because of the fact I wrote this paper, I did a project, that was something to show, and that set me apart from everyone else. So I think if you want to look at future possibilities of like going to universities beyond the US or beyond the West in general, it gives you more flexibility and preparation to be a good candidate for anywhere, honestly.
Nigel, thank you for that. Anyone else want to answer this question?
Yeah, I guess in my case, so for my university, I had an open day in Singapore where they invited us and they interviewed us, and I was able to present a few of my projects from Quest, which I think came really handy. We had something for a Makers Fair where we had to design anything we wanted and kind of create like so what I did was I designed a hotel and 3D printed it, and I kind of helped use it as kind of like a way to present myself that I'm like in this industry and like keen to understand, and it just shows a difference in like from your typical schools. So I think a lot of universities are moving towards project-based learning now as well, and so it really did come in handy in that sense.
Okay, thank you, Aish. Anyone else want to answer of our alumni your experience in the university application process?
Yeah, so I'm taking a gap year now, but I am accepted into university. And when I took the interview with the counselor there, I just casually mentioned that I had written a research study and conducted a study, and she was so intrigued. She was asking questions all the time, and we barely talked about anything else. The entire meeting was just about me and this project that I did in Quest. And I think because of that, I was actually lucky enough and grateful enough, of course, to be accepted into their honors college program, which also came with a scholarship compensation. So because of Quest, I am, $120,000 of tuition is paid.
That's incredible. And thank you for sharing that, Alicia. Okay, maybe one more alumni if anyone wants to answer that.
Can I go?
Sure.
So maybe I can say both for UK universities and Korean universities. So as many of you guys may know, UK universities and Korean universities pay more attention to academics. Well, first of all, I got into King's College London War Studies, and I think their A-level requirements are AAA. Basically, I think that's like 3-5 AP levels and something like that. I'll be honest, I didn't have enough fives for AP, but I got in, and they gave me a really instant reply, in fact. And so I got into UK university, and two, Korean universities, normal people think that Korean universities, they only look at APs and high GP and SAT scores, and they don't look at your activities and whatever. But I got into Korean university, so in that case, I think I can debunk the myth that Korea and that Quest is not a good program for UK or Korean universities. In fact, I think that made me stand out more in their application.
Andy, thank you so much for sharing your experience with both of those, because I do know that that is a question that also comes up, unlike the American university track, where they do tend to look more holistic. So I appreciate you sharing your experience in that. All right. So we've had some questions come through, and I know, Chris, you have been responding as quick as possible. Are there any that stand out for you, Chris, that you would like to ask the panel to respond to?
Trying to unmute myself. Yeah, I think one question that was kind of hard for me to respond to quickly in text was, what are the benefits and drawbacks of the 1-day versus 2-day options?
And so I think to speak to that one, Sue, I think since you have a daughter that is in the 2-day program, I think you can speak to that one.
Okay. For the 2-day, my daughter's doing the 2-day quest full on, and that gives you a little bit more of a flexibility, definitely, especially as a student athlete. She has a morning practice and an afternoon practice for swimming, and in between she's able to do the quest project and also the internship project, because she has so much more freedom to build her own schedule within the school time and within the the project a due date. So I can only speak for the 2 days quest, because that's my daughter is doing, but definitely so much more option and how you want to manage your time. That's my take on the 2-day quest, and maybe whoever is doing the 1-day quest can answer the other one.
I can answer. So I think the 1-day quest gives you a lot of freedom to do stuff outside of Quest. Like, for example, I have an interest in journalism, so I continued taking journalism outside of Quest. But so I think that would be the most major positive thing that would come from doing 1-day. However, I think I really wish I did 2-day, just because the work that I care about, I care more about Quest than my other classes, because of the content and what I'm learning. So I think I put Quest as a priority before my other classes. So I think that might be the biggest drawback for me, because if I had just done 2-day Quest and fully immersed myself, then I wouldn't really have the problem of like thinking of my other classes as a chore as much as something I want to do.
I just wanted to quickly add on to that. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about Quest, especially when you hear students talk positively of anything school related, is that it's easy. And I think that last year when I took Quest, I definitely probably did more work in Quest than like the cumulative 3 other years of high school. And even though it was just like so much more work, because it was like driven by like what I wanted to learn and like my passions, it was like much more enjoyable, and I kind of like learned like all the time management skills. And so I just kind of wanted to add that, because that's like, I think that's a big misconception that a lot of people have, is that it's.
Can I add on that too? Just like what Kaden said, it is a lot of work. Don't get that wrong. It is a lot of work, but that teaches your own child the resilience and a commitment, creativity, time, not only time management, but that's all about time. That all comes into time management as well. And one more thing is that if you do take 2 days quest, you're full on quest, so you're not going to see your friends at all. That's not true. My daughter is able to have lunch with her friends outside of quest. You know, they have the freedom to go see them and all that as well. So you're not going to miss out on your friendship outside of who's taking the regular program outside of the quest as well. So if you're worried about that, I just wanted to add that on as well.
Thank you so much. We do want to honor people's time. It is 7:07, so we're actually 7 minutes over from our time. And so we do want to, those who want to stay on a little bit longer for Q&A and are able to stay on, we can stay on a little bit longer. But those who do need to get on with their evening, we just want to share how, especially for families who may be thinking about and considering Quest for next year, we just want to share with you where you can find the application. And so if you go to our Quest program website, you will find more photos, videos, you'll see snapshots, you'll see the curriculum, you're going to see the courses, the units of study, more information about the partnership program, the field trips, all of those things are available. So thank you so much, Tom, for providing the link in there. For others, if you are on your phone, you can scan the QR code. We'll also send a follow-up email just to make sure that you have access to that. However, if you have a younger child that you're thinking about whether Quest might be the right fit for you or for your child later down the road, please stay in touch with us. You are welcome to reach out to us as you get closer to that time period. Your child is welcome to tour, even shadow with students. And so just stay in touch with us. With that, we will wish those of you that do need to get on with your evening a good night. And those of you, if you do have a few more questions and want to stay, I'm also here in the Quest room. So if you've never been able to get on campus to see the Quest space since the pandemic started, and also for our alumni that are joining, in case you've missed your home away from home, I am in the Quest space, so I'll give a quick tour. All right, so I am going to assume if you are still online with us, that you do have some additional questions. And I'm looking to see. All right. Who do we have? Yep, so we still have some families on. So what I'll do is I'll just do a quick tour of the Quest room, and then we can continue with just a little bit more Q&A. So this is, I am in the kitchen area. So for alumni, by the way, if you are from the class of 2020 or earlier, you may not have benefited from an air fryer, but thank you, Zane Bush, for donating an air fryer last year. But this is, we refer to this sort of as the kitchen. And so it can turn into a lab area. We also have, this is the main living room or the learning space. And so this is where our lessons happen and group work happens. You know, the seating arrangements will arrange it depending on what the lesson is for the day. But this is where the classroom is. I know it doesn't look like a traditional classroom, but this is our classroom space. So very comfortable. We try to create sort of different little areas for students to fit what works best for their learning. So this is a bit like Goldilocks, where you can just kind of try out the areas that work for you. So we have little huddle spaces new to this year, which some of us who are easily distracted, need a quiet space to work or need to record videos, things like that. We do also have an acoustic booth. There is the Quest library. So this one has a little bit of a different ambiance in it, but for small group meetings or a quiet study space, this is our Quest library. And then we have a conference room in here. Again, a meeting space for the students. But I would say probably one of the most utilized features is the kitchen area. This is, as you heard some talk about what they love most. They love being able to get sort of that adulting experience, have meals together. And we have each year there's been some cooking that happens as well. So, all right, with that, that's the tour. Any remaining questions? And I think at this point we've got a few enough families online that you can just ask. You can unmute yourself and ask your questions directly to our students, our alumni, and any parents who are still on the line.
Can I just say something about like the benefits, ups and downs of like the 1-day and 2-day programs? When I think about it. So I think some parents may be kind of worried about, if their child does the 2-day programs and they won't be able to do the AP courses and stuff. I think so for me, because for me, I only had, I took AP courses outside of Quest and I needed the AP courses. So if you know that you need to take some AP courses, for example, if you're going to major in political science or international relations, and you need to take AP Gov or AP Economics and stuff like that. So if you know that you need to take those, and if you want to take Quest in your junior year, then do the 1-day program. However, if you have taken all of those AP courses or in your junior year, or if you don't need them, then you can opt for the 2-day program. And for me, if it were for me, I would have probably just did all my AP courses in my junior year and done full 2-day Quest in senior year. Yeah, because we can for Korean universities, we can apply a lot of people apply in around like July as well. So in that case, I can also fully utilize my experience in Quest in my college application, as well as getting all the AP credits I need.
Thank you, Andy. All right, do we have any other questions coming in from parents? If not, we can go ahead and call this a wrap. Thank you again for joining us this evening to learn a little bit more about the Quest program, and stay in touch.
Good night. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye.